I mean, is Arizona for real too? Because they put it up against USC, they put it up against UW.
I,
Is a really close
I
game.
completely agree with what Will said. They are going to beat
Yep.
someone that they're not supposed to be, and I'm very, very nervous this week. And
Homecoming in Pullman.
yeah, and I said this last week, or sorry, 2 weeks ago when we had our WSU's biggest swing game of the year was UCLA. Your first road game, if you can win that, you come back home, you get Arizona, and then you
Off
go
a
out.
bye.
Yeah, and obviously UCLA and WSU both had buys going into this past game, but I mean, Ben Arbuckle and Cam Ward, that UCLA defense was doing circles around those two. I was at the game live. It was hot. It was probably feeling like 100 degrees on the field, just boiling in the Rose Bowl. But I mean, to have the game on the line, down 8, fourth quarter, and you need 1 yard. Mind you, not you've called a timeout, so you're coming out of a timeout, and you line up out of freaking shotgun to try and get 1 yard. It's ridiculous. It was a fireable offense. Obviously, that's I'm being a little bit too modest there, but
No, I agree. Fire him. Season's done. Fire him.
no, he's gonna get a bag from some Power Four school this offseason, so he'll be gone anyways. But it's
Fire him
just
before.
unfortunate to me that it's like your whole scheme at Wazoo for the past decade, they haven't really changed it. Yes, they brought in a couple tight end looks here, but it's still spread the ball out, and if you're gonna line up out of shotgun or the gun, at least throw it. I mean, they brought out the Philly special, tush push, whatever you want to call it, and they scored a touchdown against Oregon State off that. Why not bring that back out? But Jaden Delora, former WSU guy, obviously. I don't know how he still has a job at quarterback. From an ethos standpoint, as well as a gameplay standpoint. He thought he was going to lose his job to the freshman there, but it was announced that he is going to start. So it's going to be interesting to see. He has the ability to, really be dynamic in the passing game, or also be an absolute cancer in the passing game. So it's going to be interesting to see how WSU takes shape into defending Jacob Cowan and just an improved team across the board, where Arizona is starting to feel like, okay, hey, we can win these games. Now, they haven't really done it yet. So like Jake Dickert said earlier this week, we got our slice of humble pie, and it's going to be how are they going to react, because Oregon is looming, and the last thing they need to be thinking about is any sort of game against the Ducks and getting out of Arizona and sticking in the top 20 and going into Oregon 5-1.
Yeah, I think when you look at this game, you're going to know how both teams feel in the first quarter. If Wazoo is still stuck on the UCLA loss, and to be frank, if Arizona's still stuck on the USC loss, that's a back-breaking loss there for Arizona. Now, I do think that they're going to beat someone that they probably shouldn't. I don't know if it's WSU. I don't know if it's Colorado, who they have later on. I don't know if maybe they sneak up and beat a Utah or an Oregon State, a UCLA, someone of that nature, right? I'd have to go through their schedule. But Arizona would scare me in the Pac-12. They are just that perfect level of, hey, they're probably not a bowl team, so do we really have to get up for this game right away? Maybe I don't watch as much film this week. Maybe I take a little bit of a break here. I don't need to study up on what their third down blitz tendencies are. It's those kind of tricks right there that come up all the time with college football teams, where this Arizona team is the perfect team to take advantage of it. I mean, you saw it against USC. USC sleptwalked through 2 quarters. Now, they have the best college football player in the most important position on the field, and that's why they were able to win that game. Wazoo doesn't have that type of guy. Now, I'm not saying that Wazoo is going to come out and sleepwalk through this game. I'd be a little bit surprised the way that Dickert coaches this team. I think they come out pissed off and firing. But I also think this Arizona team comes out pissed off and firing, because they should have had a big win against USC. frankly, they could have had a big win against UW. They were in that game the entire way. And really, they shut down that passing attack better than anybody else has this year. So if I'm Wazoo and if I'm Arizona and I'm a big fan, I know right away in that first quarter, because you're going to be able to tell it on the body language of the coaches, and you're going to be able to certainly tell it on the body language of the players and how inspired they come out and play. If either one of those teams comes out and they're playing uninspired, it's going to be a long game. And I know you guys are both Coug fans, and I would hate to leave you without trolling you at least a little bit. But doesn't this make for the perfect Couging it scenario? It's homecoming. It's a later game. It's an Arizona team that probably shouldn't play with you. You had high hopes. Your hopes just got taken away a little bit with the UCLA loss, to at least where now you're like, we have to be perfect the rest of the way. Isn't this the perfect Coug it scenario?
I don't know what that word means. I've never heard it.
That's not in our vocabulary.
Not in our vocabulary. And all the Cougs out there that still have that in their vocabulary need to turn their Coug card in. I'll be
you
real.
Can
but
tweet
hey,
at me. Yeah, I'll take all the tweets. I'll take all the firestorm. Bring it on.
Hey, great thing. It's at home, and we have dog walked Arizona for the last decade. So that's kind of how I'll look at it. But, hey, like Fraternal Cloud's saying right now, Arizona's coming off an emotional 3 overtime loss with a freshman quarterback. Take the Cougs and the points. I'm a little nervous on the 8. It opened up at 9.5, and it's already gone down to 8. So, over
Cougs under
money
59.
line. If I could give you
I take the over.
any sort of advice for Eternal Cloud, just take the money line.